Hey, what's up everybody? Happy New Year. I'm glad you could join me today. This video is going to be helping first-time home buyers in 2026, what conditions we're currently in, and how to look for properties and how to analyze the information that you're seeing on these real estate sites, as they throw a lot of information at you and it could be overwhelming. First off, let's get started with some updates on the market and get you up to speed if you're not familiar. So some data on first-time home buyers. Over the last few years, the median age has climbed to 40 years old for the average first-time home buyer, with the price of the average home being about $432,000. Now these numbers of course are relative to different areas, but it is the average nationwide. Keep that in mind. Most first-time home buyers are probably not going to be able to swing a $400,000 plus mortgage on their first home unless they are gainfully employed, and even then that is a hefty mortgage to get qualified for. As Q3 ending in 2025, the foreclosure numbers have rose to 23% year over year, but it's not all dim news. Keep in mind that the pre-COVID levels as of 2019 were actually 18% below that number. So even though we are approaching higher prices and a tougher market, prices have been stagnant for the past year and a half, going on 2 years. We are not in a worse place than we were pre-COVID. Keep that in mind, as it still is a healthy market. It pretty much just came to a stop last year. The next FOMC meeting of the Fed, if we're going to continue to lower rates, is at the end of this month, January 2026, with most estimates saying that the rate will hold steady. Now, given the news and considering any CPI inflation numbers, that could change, but I tend to agree with this. I think we're going to hold steady at the current rate that we're in. Current Fed Chair Jerome Powell is scheduled to be stepping down from his position in May of this year, which leads to some new choices for who's going to take over. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is pushing and advocating for lower rates, and there are quite a few members backing Trump on the board already. So it will be interesting to see if the conditions change and we come into a lower rate season, more than we had anticipated. There was only supposed to be 2 cuts this year, and as January will be a hold, it's unlikely that we will see 2 cuts this year unless there is a change after May. Now keep in mind that when we lowered the rates in the first place post-COVID, that's what led to the boom in real estate even further than it had already been climbing. The lower rates propelled the market, and here we are today with the price of groceries unaffordable for the average person, let alone a $400,000 mortgage. But we're gonna look at a few properties today. The video is going to be focused in the Raleigh, close to downtown area. This market has housing prices all over the place, 3 different sizes. This first video, we're going to focus on a larger single family home, being 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, up to 2 bathrooms. Maybe just below 1,500, could be a little over 1,500. But we're going to look at things that you can find online, information you can analyze, and information that you can use to make a better, more competitive offer in this market as a first-time home buyer. I will be following up with some even more affordable housing, lower price ranges, at a lower price range, being more for the single income household rather than a 2-income household, as these prices might be. We're going to be looking at the high 200s, low 300s, and possibly trying to get that number down further, as I think that is a realistic place in this market. All right, let's take a look. All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to start here from the home page. look for the desired area 1. I already have it down here in the screen. So again, we're going to Raleigh. Right off the bat, we don't have any filters set. We're just looking at the Raleigh area. Now, let's go ahead and zoom in. And we're going to assume we want to be in this section here, down closer to the downtown area, where there's going to be more of a dense population. So as you get toward the center of Raleigh, the price of housing increases, and as you move away out toward the suburbs, it decreases. This is true for most metropolitan areas. So what I want to do is narrow this down. As I said, we're a first-time home buyer, so what I'm going to be looking for is, we'll start in the higher price range of a 1,500 square foot home with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. First thing I want to do, let's go ahead and we're going to get rid of foreclosures and auctions. Set square foot down to 1,500. Apply. We're going to narrow down the home types. We're going to select single family homes or houses. We are looking for 3 bedrooms, as I said. We can leave bathrooms at any. And the average home price, like I said earlier, we're looking at $430,000. Being first-time home buyers, that is a very high number, and it's going to take much more to get qualified for the financing. So we're going to aim in the high 200s to low 300s. I'm going to put my search all the way up to 350, as because there are houses sitting on the market, there may be room to negotiate these prices, and we're going to go over that further as well. Okay, so now I've narrowed down my homes to 42 results. I'm going to narrow this down a little further. As I said, I want to be in the central area toward downtown Raleigh. We'll use the draw tool. I want to keep these lake parks in there, close to the highway. And right there is going to be our search area. Hit apply. Let's see what we come up with. Now we've narrowed it down to 29 results. I like to start from the bottom. All right, and now we have our available homes. So I've already scanned through this information, so I have some homes up here to check out, and we're going to move through the 1,500 square foot homes first with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, assuming that you probably have a 2-income household, and this would be easier to qualify for this financing. The next section, we're going to look for more starter homes, maybe 2 bedrooms, closer to 1,000 square feet, 1,100, 1,200 square feet. And that's where we're really going to find some deals. And that actually could work for a family. It depends on your needs. So first home we got here, we're looking at 325, 1,600 square feet, 3.3, built in 91. We're going to compare that to the following homes. 299, 1,400 square feet, 3.3, 299, 1,400 square feet, 3.3, 330, and this will fall into our smaller homes. So we'll work with these 3 here. So on the first home, there is plenty of space. Looking at the pictures, it looks very clean. Looks to have fresh carpet, floors in good condition, paint looks pretty fresh. This carpet over here, maybe that hasn't been replaced. It's kind of hard to tell from the pictures. We could ask the seller's agent and get some more information there, but this is a pretty good home in $325,000 range. Let's do some further digging. It's been on the market for going on 3 months. Quite a lot of views, quite a lot of saves. And the history on the home. Last time this home sold was in August of 2025, and they listed it for sale in September. So right there, that tells us that this home was probably bought by an investor. They did some forced equity upgrades, meaning that maybe they upgraded the kitchen, the bathroom, added flooring, did the paint. Little tweaks to push the equity into this house so they can get a return on the sale. Now, it was a quick turnaround, so maybe it didn't need a lot of work. But since then, it has held steady at $325,000, and we'll have to compare that to other houses in the area and see if that's a good deal. From what we can see here, the house obviously has curb appeal and is pretty well manicured. Now, as far as negotiating the price on this house, being that they bought for $290,000, normally you're going to have closing cost, and if it was financed, they could be anywhere in the range of $9,000 to $14,000 in this price range. So you got to figure that in, which would bring their buy-in to $304,000 before they ever got started on the remodeling. So this might not be a lot of money that they're looking to get back out of it, or they might want to get out of the deal as it's costing them money to holding cost. Room to negotiate on this, I'm not sure there'll be that much. If they are going to have to pay a buyer's agent and seller's agent, typically agent fees are about 3% of the sales price. So say it's sold for $300,000, you're looking at $9,000 per agent, which would already take you up pretty much where they have it listed at $325,000 plus with the closing cost. Now maybe they're looking to break even on this property at this point, as they have it listed at $325,000 and haven't moved it down further. Now, when making an offer, we can actually, with some research, and if you feel comfortable and confident, of course, is you see here listed by the agent, their contact number, and the broker that they're working with. You don't need to hit the contact agent button over here. That is actually just going to contact another agent who's going to represent you, the buyer. If you call directly, you can reach the seller's agent and get the information direct from them, probably get a better response, a quicker response. And if they're willing to work with you, which I haven't experienced any agents that aren't willing to work directly with the buyer, you'll just have to fill out some extra paperwork, you can save that 3% to the seller. So in this case, if we're making an offer for $325,000, we can knock the $9,000 off of that. That's more attractive to the seller, as it's going to save them the $9,000, and that could go in your pocket as the buyer to help you out with closing costs, or just to get a lower all-in price on the home. So moving on to the next property. This one is listed at a fantastic price for $299,000, considering the area. I tweaked this to actually just under 1,500 square feet when I did the filter. So, you know, we're only missing 9 square feet there, so we would have missed out on this house if we set it to 1,500. And again, to do that, you can just come down here under the More tab and set the square feet to 1,250, and that'll open you up to more options, where you'll see this, which is just under 1,500 square feet. Very nice curb appeal, very aesthetic home from the outside. Now looking at this, we do have a HOA down here, $60 a month. That'll affect your all-in cost when you go for financing and qualifying. Now the price is great, that's at $299. This has been on the market for 18 days, has a staggering 11,000 views and 1,000 saves. So this might be very competitive. They might just be gathering offers for the month and seeing what's the best offer they get. Now we have the listing information here. Again, this could save you another 9,000, or it could just make your offer more competitive, as there might be high interest in this home already. Instead of having to add on to the asking price, being self-represented, you could offer the asking price for $299, but still save the seller $9,000 because there's no additional buyer's agent to pay a fee to. Now let's go down to see how long. Okay. This was last sold in 2020 for $218. Considering that they've only held the home going on about 6 years, I'd say the $299 is a very fair price. So in this scenario, depends how badly you want this home, how many other homes there are that you're looking at. Let's take a quick look at the pictures. I mean, everything's in order. It's a great looking house, great house for any family. Carpets look fresh, floors look fresh, cabinetry is fresh, paint is fresh. We'll address this in qualifying. So to qualify for FHA or VA loan, there may need to be drywall in the garage, which would make this room finished. As you see on the ceiling here, that's drywall. Because if this is exposed, it might not qualify. These wires right here, for example, this could be an issue to qualify for FHA or VA financing. We'll talk about that further though. Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic home at the price range. Beautiful home. Very nice. Reasonable HOA at $60 a month. Moving on. Okay, and our final home, also close to 1,500 square feet, also 3.3, $65 a month HOA. This is listed for $330. So this has been on the market for a while. This is going on, what's that, about 8 months? Excuse me if my math's not quickly up to date. 60 save, only 610 views. That's pretty low considering. We'll have to do a deep dive into the area that this home is in that might be affecting the pricing. Okay, so actually the listing was removed and then a pending sale back in October. That's probably what affected the views and saves. When you relist, it resets that number, even though you can see all the data here. Now this house sold in 2015 for $157,000, post 2008 and pre-COVID levels. It's been listed for rent pretty much since it was bought, so this is a rental home. Now they are asking for $330. I'd say that's reasonable for the area. Again, this is something we'll deep dive into and we'll check the area. So on this home, I'd say we have room to work with as this house has been on the market for going on the better part of the year. We're in the new year, and it's actually listed pretty high considering where they bought it. So there should be equity in the house. It's been rented the entire time. There should be a fair amount of equity in the house. On a home like this, I would probably go in at about $300,000. I feel like that's a fair price with similar homes on the market. And again, if we're just going to go ahead and give Rob a call down here from Long and Foster Real Estate, that's going to save him $9,000 off the bat. And if you have all your pre-qualification or your qualification, your approval letter, so your pre-approval or approval letter for financing, this is going to make a stronger offer. Coming in that you are self-represented and you're asking for a reasonable discount, I think that also presents a good offer. Most people are going to be looking to get this off their hands, as they do have holding costs. Holding costs, this has been on the market for a year. Even if their mortgage was only $1,000 based on when they bought it, that's $12,000 a year they're losing. So let's say on this property they've lost $7,000 to $8,000 of holding cost. They're going to be paying another $9,000 to their seller's agent, and possibly another $9,000 to another buyer's agent. Already you're looking at close to that $30,000 number. So I feel that coming in at $299 to start is a fair price. Now, an asterisk to the buyer's and seller's agent, it's not always 3%. This is negotiable, of course. What I've seen is that sometimes both agents will split 1.5% and 1.5% between them, or you can get the seller's agent to come down to 2% if it's a strong deal and it works in everybody's favor. That really depends on the agent. It's not a guarantee, it's not a promise. But that this house has been on the market so long, they also probably want to get paid, as they're doing the work to represent the seller in the first place. So on this property, looks like we're down here. Let's go ahead and check this one out actually. So we're gonna actually go back to our map. We're gonna look for the house that was 330, as I have it saved here. Okay, so in this area, we do have similar pricing. We have this over here for $335, which I believe that's the one that no, it just looks similar to the other house we were looking at already. We have $325 down here, which was the first house we started with. $289 over here. This is a smaller home at 1,300 square feet, and it does look older. We got $310 over here, which older home once again, and $310 over here. So again, this house right here, let's see if I knock it on the first try. I think it's a very fair price to come in at $300,000, offering with an approval letter in hand and maybe some due diligence money. Due diligence money as opposed to earnest money. Earnest money you'll get back if the transaction doesn't go through for some reason. Due diligence, typically the seller is going to keep that money even if the deal falls through. This could all again be negotiated as well in the inspection period. If you back out during the inspection period, it's pretty reasonable that you should get your due diligence back. Just make sure you have it written into the contract. I will make another video looking at contracts, how to read them, what to look for, what to add, what to ask for, as that is super important as being a self-represented buyer. With some homework, I don't think it's too hard to be a self-represented buyer. And if you're in the area and can go see the home, we'll do a separate video at what to look for. But honestly, you can go on YouTube and watch these house inspectors videos. They're pretty entertaining. And I think that'll give you a better idea of what to look for than me going over it. We'll see. So that covers our houses around 1,500 square feet, 3-2 floor plans around 300,000 and above. I hope that was helpful for your bigger homes. We'll talk further in a little bit about qualifying for credit and what to look for when walking through the home or going through your inspection process. Also, what's to be expected in the inspection process. So I hope that was helpful. Please click on the link that I'll put somewhere around here. We'll look at the smaller homes for first-time buyers in a more affordable range, and possibly for a true first-time home buyer as a one-income household. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you next time.